People of Earth 11. 11 message received by James Gililand. We are a consortium of councils that have watched over Earth since it was birthed from your sun as a hot gaseous ball of energy, finding a cradle orbit, then cooling and gathering water and mass from the stars. This formed what you refer to as your crust. It has been a 7.5 billion year process. Once inhabitable, there were many attempts to colonize Earth. Eventually, there were several types of humans developing naturally during these colonizations. These colonies go back over 600 million years, remnants of which have been found and censored. The great stone monuments attest to this. Cave art, hieroglyphs, and petroglyphs depicting what you call flying saucers were exactly what the artists were seeing. We have watched colonies and civilizations come and go. It is time you knew your real history so as not to repeat the past. There is a common recurring event that preceded the end of these civilizations. A division occurred between those who lived according to universal law and those who chose self-service acting against universal law. There were those who lived in service to the Creator within all creation, and those who exploited others and the planet for power over others, wealth and fame. There were also those who came to the earth for the sole reason to exploit the people and the resources. This exploitation on the lowest levels included using humanity as a food source. Those that did this were completely disconnected from the God within them. In fact, some hated humanity and nature because both stood as a testimony to the one God. These degenerate beings were very clever and manipulated much of humanity to do their bidding. It had to be a free will decision. These are the forces behind the war and disease profiteers, in simplicity, the war between good and evil. These forces were the inspiration behind kings and leaders to war upon each other. They manipulated their subjects by demonizing their enemies. Those who had something they wanted, generated fear and division, then used whatever weapons at their disposal to dispense with their enemies. There has been a common theme in the demise of these ancient civilizations. Each would rise up, eventually divide into factions, end up in power struggles that eventually evolved into their demise. In the days of the Anunnaki, many beautiful cities were built only to be laid to ruin by atomic weapons used against each other. They did not count on the deadly winds, radiation that wiped out their people coming from the cities they decimated. The turf wars got out of hand and the weapons evolved beyond their spirituality. Atlantis and Lemuria were the second attempt in our known history to colonize the earth. The Pleiadians, peaceful Lyrans fleeing the conflicts on ancient Lyra, colonized the Pleiades system, Orion system, and Hyades, a desolate colony most would rather not live. They then came to Earth, Mars, and Maldek, or Melona as some called it. Both Atlantis and Lemuria were spacefaring originating from the same lineage. In Atlantis, there began a fall from universal law. They worshipped science and the intellect. Their science outpaced their spirituality, and they began using it to surveil, control, and overpower others. The Lemurians warned the Atlanteans they were going against universal law, and it always ends in destruction. This was seen as a threat, and the Atlanteans launched their beam ships melting down the Lemurian cities. To this day, there is a great sheet of glass, all that remains of their beautiful cities. The Lemurians being spacefaring as well guided a meteor to hit Atlantis. The Earth has always been a turbulent planet with earthquakes, tsunamis, massive volcanic eruptions, and pole shifts. It wasn't always a civilization's choice to go against universal law that created their demise. There has also been divine intervention, as in the case of Sodom and Gomorrah. These two cities fell due to their own decadence. The crime, sexual abuse, bestiality, moral degeneration created a downward spiral in evolution, and those you refer to as archangels. The Andromedan Council decided they needed to be surgically removed so as not to infect the rest of the planet. This is happening today with leaders that have been taken over by the same regenerate forces seen and unseen. The crime, drugs, poverty, arrogance, division, degenerate behavior is no different than the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. The people of Earth have a choice. The choice is to live according to universal law and join the rest of the universe in peace, opening the door to wisdom and technologies that will end war, disease, poverty, taking a quantum leap in evolution. Or take the downward spiral ending in social, economic, and environmental collapse. The path of your ancestors who had to start over as primitives. We can be guided and do the bidding of seen and unseen degenerate forces going against universal law, the war and disease profiteers, participating in their degenerate acts, lusting for power over others' wealth and fame, resulting in the collapse of civilization. We can also be guided from the God within, the heart, assisted by the beautiful many masters, saints, and sages, including spiritually and technologically advanced off-worlders, some of which are our ancient ancestors that did not have to start over and continued to evolve spiritually and technologically. This is the crossroad humanity is now at, and humanity must make a choice and make that choice be known to the heavens. Your prayers are heard. The connection and contact needs to be initiated by you. Free will must be honored in this process. If enough ask, enough choose to rise to the occasion, enough choose universal law and hold their leaders accountable, the earth has a chance. Make your voices and intentions known. We might add, do not give your power away to others, expect others to do this for you. Most are not what they portray themselves to be. The power is within. Universal law is written in the heart of hearts of all humanity. Universal peace, brother-sisterly love, individual freedom and prosperity for all. In simplicity, if it isn't good for everyone, it isn't good. Be a blessing to life. The beautiful many pass this far and wide with our blessings. James Gililand.